Hello everyone and welcome to this week's episode of the StudsUp podcast. Today we are going to be doing a review of the round that just was in the English Premier League. I'm Garfield. I'm joined as always by my co-host Simon Says. If you ever want to get in contact with us, please go on our Facebook page. Just type in StudsUp, all one word. We come straight up on the Facebook. You can leave us comments. You can have a look at our tipping. You can read a couple of articles we've got up there. Same as on our website. Just go to studsup-football.com. We'd love you to visit the site. Or you can find us on iTunes. Just type in StudsUp podcast. We'll come straight up and you can download us. Now, without further ado, Simon Says, let's go through the round of the week in the English Premier League because we both tipped pretty well without being outstanding.
Yeah, you got 5, I got 6.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much on par for you. You're always within one of your scores.
Pretty much, yeah.
5, 6, or
5,
7.
6, 7. I'm always in that general category. Whereas you will fluctuate wildly.
Wildly. I go from being a savant one week and just being an absolute... Well, it's like I'm watching cricket instead of football, let's face it. It's really awful. I don't know what's going on. I got no explanation.
I know. But, well, let's go through the round because I think, one of the biggest games of the round, let's start with it. Let's go with Everton versus Liverpool because it was the derby.
Yeah, look, my tip was wildly off in terms of the score.
My tip was just off.
Yes, your tip was just off. Like your attitude.
No, mind you, until the 93rd minute, my tip was looking amazing.
There's a few points about this match that bother me a little bit.
Liverpool did win 1-0, by the way.
It was 1-0. Sadio Mane in the 94th minute.
Yep.
4th minute of 8 minutes of extra time.
Yeah.
That's a very long...
That's a long period.
I don't think I've seen longer than that, but...
The only game I can think of where I've seen more than that? Remember the game where Peter Cech got taken out at Reading?
Where there was broken jaw.
Yeah, and it was like 90 minutes of added time. Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah.
That's the only time I can think of it going
missed half of the half.
Yeah, I know. That was ridiculous. And remember the ambulance couldn't get on the ground. It was a whole big... Anyway, I'm sidetracking, but yeah.
But then that's a good point. That's probably the only other one I can recall. I remember Fergie time... That big match, it was against
Sheffield.
City.
There was a Sheffield... Oh, yeah, the City game went for about 6 minutes. There was a Sheffield Wednesday game that had about 8 or 9 minutes when Steve Bruce, that's how long ago that was, scored a header.
And there was actually one in the Italian match-fixing scandal that went for like 9 until Roma won and the ref ended up admitting that he was waiting for them to score a goal. So. Yeah. Anyway, but that's back to it. Yeah, we don't have that in the Premier League, do we?
Thankfully, yeah.
So, I mean, look... I was really annoyed by Koeman's comments after the match. Really annoyed. And I like Koeman, so this is really... It was confronting to sit here and think, I hate you. What's wrong with you? It's, he came up and he says, Lovren should have been sent off and, for that tackle and whatever else.
That.
I thought, well, you know what? If you're going to be talking about who should have gotten sent off, Barkley,
that tackle was brutal.
His tackle on Henderson was a straight red in anyone's book. Yeah. He wasn't even looking at the ball. He was looking at his leg.
Yeah.
Like, straight up, he meant to do that. I mean, he's gotten an honorary scholarship to the John Terry Academy.
Yeah, it wasn't
He should be packing his bags and going there right now.
Mum, guess what? I got a scholarship.
Yeah, probably the first and only scholarship Barkley's ever gotten. Straight up, that guy's a buffoon. I can't believe that he had the audacity after the match to say that about Lovren when the reality was they should not have had 11 men on the field. That was a mistake by Mike Dean.
Right.
It was a mistake. And I never really do this. I usually just get on with life. I don't care so much about referee errors because usually they even out. That was so glaring. I don't know how he could have missed it.
There's been a few of those recently, actually, with a couple of 2-footed lunges, mainly from Marcus Rojo, so I should know.
Marcus Rojo. Yeah, but he's awful.
Yeah, he's so bad. I know everyone's starting to love him, but I still think he's a piece of crap.
Yeah, I don't like him.
Have you...
He's not Luke Shaw. Simple.
No,
and you have Luke Shaw.
Yeah, I know. We have a very own Luke Shaw.
You have your own one. It's not like you've got Moreno and you're like, you know what? We'll put Rojo in and see how he goes.
And we play him at centre half anyway. It makes no sense to me. Anyway, but yeah, so the Liverpool game
deserved match for Liverpool. I'm sorry, but I know it was 1-0, but that was their game all in all.
I actually thought the opening maybe 30 minutes.
Yeah, maybe.
I thought Everton might well stick you here,
but that meant 64 minutes of Liverpool.
Yeah. So. Well, up until half time, I thought Everton edged it, and then after that, I thought it was Liverpool's game. But I mean, you didn't really create
in terms of a couple of half chances. They registered one shot on target, so I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. They did control the space, but they didn't create a lot. Mind you, Liverpool also didn't create a great deal.
No, I agree. And Origi missed, I won't say a sitter, but one that I thought he might have put away.
Yeah. He's young. He's learning. He's 21.
Yeah, and I mean, he did score 5 in a row, so this isn't bad to have missed. But overall, I just think Liverpool had them. I felt no matter what, it didn't look like we were under threat. The question was, are we going to get the goal?
Yeah.
And I thought it wasn't going to be our night when Barkley got away with that challenge.
That lunge, yeah.
I just thought maybe it's not going to be their night, but as derbies do, they throw it up, don't they? And
that almost
that
inevitably
last minute goal, and it was Sturridge who created it, but you have to say that was a huge error by the reserve keeper.
Yeah, Robles.
I don't know how. I mean, it looked like it was going in slow motion. The ball.
I know.
I mean, you're a cripple. I'm pretty sure you could have come close to saving that.
Yeah, I would have hobbled over and at least got a hand to it.
Yeah. I just don't know how he missed that, and it comes off the post and still manages to go underneath him on the way back. That's how slow he reacted to it.
It was a very odd...
What I will say is, though, I unfortunately can't show a screenshot. I may post it on the Facebook page, but when you look at where Sadio Mane was from the rebound, he was a good 1.5, nearly 2 meters behind 2 Everton defenders.
Yeah, I was about to say, and behind at least one defender. Yeah.
2 of them, though.
Yeah.
And he still raced right past both of them onto that in very limited space.
Yeah,
I know he's quick, but I also can't help but feel that the defenders they weren't switched on. It was the end of the match, and I think they kind of weren't prepared for the mistake, and you always need to be prepared for something. So I think that they kind of... their own worst enemy there, Everton, and they showed nothing for me of the side that so spectacularly came back against Arsenal the week before. So
no, I agree.
I think that maybe that was for now, I can only say that was an anomaly.
Yeah.
And that this form is still bad.
It's a bad run at the moment for Everton. I mean, they look nailed on for 8th now, or 7th at the best.
Not 12th?
Not 12th. No, they're still too good for 12th. But they have nowhere else to go now. I mean, the top 6 have completely broken away.
They've left them. That was the game that did it as well.
Yeah, that was it. If they were ever going to get back in that kind of chasing pack with United in 6th, that was the game they had to... They kind of had to win, but at least a point. And now
you would have thought at home that they had a chance.
Absolutely. And again, I thought they did a pretty decent job of controlling space. They restricted Liverpool, but that's not enough. You still have to be able to put away chances. And you know what? I get it. They've got Lukaku. They have at least one player there who can turn a game for you on a dime. So the tactics were okay, I thought, from Koeman. I didn't think they were bad necessarily. But they have to show us more at this stage. There's only kind of... I mean, when Coleman... I've said this before on the podcast. When Coleman and Baines are firing, there's no better combination of fullbacks in the entire
league. They played pretty well, though.
They did.
I think that was the reason they were in the match at all.
Exactly.
So,
but now he needs to add basically anything else to that, because at the moment, without Barclay firing, you're relying on your 2 fullbacks and Lukaku's genius.
Well, I suspect Barclay will get retroactive ban for that.
You think? Yeah, well...
that was a horrible challenge.
Yeah, entirely possible.
So they may not have him at all. But they'll just bring in Morales, so...
Yeah, I mean, well, the problem is, now that they don't have Balassi, they don't have anyone else who can actually play that central. How big a loss is he
starting to look now?
Yeah, well, he can't, because he's the only other player that can really play that central role behind Lukaku and create for you, even though he's a natural winger. So all of a sudden, you look at that team and you say, who are you going to fit in there? Cleverly, he hasn't been good for years. Darren Gibson, he's been injured for years. I mean, he's still only about 28. He's only played about 12 matches in his entire career. I mean...
He's like the anti-Gareth Barry.
He is kind of, yeah. So I think they have to step out in January and look to buy. They kind of have to at this stage. They need a central defender and at least one attacking kind of midfield player. At least those
We'll probably
two.
do a podcast on this, but I'm really not sure who it is that they would actually be able to buy, who would go to them that's available to fill their particular holes.
Yeah, I know who I would go for if I was them. I'm not even saying he would go, but I know who I would try and get. That'd be Payet.
He would not go there.
I doubt it.
Why on earth? Firstly, he's going to Real Madrid. We know this. And not because I have some inside line to Marker or you know,
hey,
Perez
Zizou,
or whatever. Yeah, or Zizou. Let's just be honest. Yeah. When somebody plays well,
yeah, I know.
They just
in an
buy
international
them.
Tournament.
They just buy them.
Hey, and they don't have their transfer ban anymore, so they can buy them.
They can. So he's not going to Everton. I mean, no disrespect, or maybe I do mean disrespect, Everton fans. Who the hell would go there?
Oh, that's harsh.
A middling club with no prospects.
I think, well, Lukaku's just signed a new deal for them. 100,000 a week.
Which I think is to increase his value when he leaves.
Possibly. But, I mean, now they have money to spend on wages, so that is normally a good sign of a club that can be grown. They have a new investment team now. They have a good manager. Yeah, you are.
Unduly harsh.
You are as a Liverpool fan.
But they are the blue half of Liverpool, so...
I think there's
How could you even be considered the other half of the club when your name is Everton? Liverpool is the city. There's only one club.
Wow! Everton fans, right in.
Please do. I'm trying to stir some controversy.
Yeah, clearly, I can tell. Holy crap. We've gone from every week going,
Genuinely,
Everton are okay. No, kill Everton.
Yeah, no, I was a big fan of Coman. He really upset me with that
I can tell.
Because it was just stupid. He should have just said, that was a silly challenge. He shouldn't have done it. And then that would have been it. I would have been okay with it. But that's now the last 7 they haven't beaten Liverpool. If I was an Everton fan, I'd be pretty annoyed with that.
Yeah, that's not a great
Can you imagine
start.
going that long as United not beating Liverpool or City, for example?
I'd do my head in.
It would do your head in.
Absolutely do my head in. It's
something's going on there.
We know
I'm
how
not sure
Newcastle fans feel with Sunderland now.
So true.
Yeah.
So true.
That run's been extended forever. Anyway, well, let's move on to the other massive game of the round. Possibly a bigger one, depending on how you want to look at it. Manchester City versus Arsenal. Now, we both went with an Arsenal win in this game.
I know. And in
hindsight, we're both so stupid.
I disagree.
Okay.
I felt like Arsenal were going to really rally back after that Everton loss.
Yeah.
I didn't feel that Everton game was a dip in form. I just thought that Everton played a really good match against Arsenal. So I just felt as though, they would come back against a City side who are kind of struggling, low on form, on confidence. They lost Gundogan as well.
Yeah, which doesn't
I just thought, and can I just say, in those opening exchanges, I really thought Arsenal had them.
For the whole first half,
they were pressing really hard early, but when you look at the second half especially, there's this frame that was on one of the forums on Facebook where it shows a 2-minute or 3-minute clip of Ozil, and he literally isn't walking.
Yeah.
He's just doing nothing. He's standing around, not doing his work in defence, and not even defence, just in the middle of the park sort of area where something could be created or could happen if he was to hound the right player, make a diagonal run, something. He was, I don't know, just so... I don't think I've seen him that ineffectual, maybe in the entire time he's been in the Premier League, which is a big call.
Yeah. Okay, so obviously in this game, City came back to win 2-1 after Arsenal took the early lead. But let's focus on Ozil for a second. He's asking for £290,000 a week to stay at Arsenal. That's Messi. That's Messi level money.
He's not worth it.
Not worth it?
No.
I happen to agree with you on this particular... I think he's an immensely talented player.
Yep. You could get so many others, though, for that.
You know who he is? He's the modern-day Riquelme.
Yeah, I'll pay
You know what I mean? Like, he's a player
a little bit faster.
Yeah, definitely.
Riquelme was like 3 kilometers an hour top speed.
Yeah, I know. He was Matt Letizia level slow.
Yeah.
But I mean, what I mean by that is that he's the modern-day equivalent of a player who can offer such majesty and can break a game open for you on his day. But when it's not his day, he's literally a passenger.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's an unfair criticism of him. I love him as a player. I think he's amazing. I think the entire league is better for having a player of his majesty.
Caliber.
Yeah, absolutely. But is he worth an elite level amount of money? I don't think so. If it came to that, I'd sell him to PSG or somewhere and just
sell him for a fortune and
move on with my life.
And use that money and get pretty much anyone else.
Yeah. Mahrez. Just buy Mahrez.
Yeah, I'd buy Mahrez. Yeah. For sure. Or swap him with Real Madrid for Modric. Even though Modric would be killed by the Tottenham fans.
Yeah, absolutely murdered. Or Toni Kroos.
Who cares about that?
Toni Kroos, much better option. Kroos is a better player than Modric anyway.
Yes, but not in that role. That's a different role.
No, totally.
Modric essentially is a like-for-like replacement for Ozil.
Yeah, but even then, he drops so deep nowadays. He's a controller. He's more of a
because of Madrid.
I know, but I'd still use him deeper.
Fair enough. Payet would be perfect.
Payet's would be a great signing.
He'd be a great signing.
I can never see Arsene Wenger spunking a bunch of money on a 29-year-old, but sure.
No, but he is excellent. I just think that but the point is, all of these people would ask for less wages than what Ozil's asking for. So, you've got to get his head out of the clouds a little bit. Because I don't even think he's the best in the world in his position.
No, he's not.
So, I don't know if you can.
He's not even the best in the league in his position, which is the scary thing.
Not at all. There's a few. In fact, is De Bruyne getting that sort of money? I don't think he is.
No, he's probably not quite there, but he's a better player.
But he's not getting that money. I would assume he's getting between 220 and 250.
Yeah, by the way, he's a great comparison because if you watch De Bruyne, he was actually having a really terrible game, particularly in the first half.
Yep.
But he harries and he hustles and he tries to create. Whereas Ozil just looks like he lets the game go on around him.
And not to jump to back to the different match, but
Yeah.
Firmino didn't have a great match for Liverpool in front of goal.
Yeah.
But he was everywhere.
He works so
worked
hard.
his butt off.
He is your key player for
Yeah.
me. I've said it a million times. Firmino and Lallana are your two key
But it's
players.
that sort of attitude that you want to see
Yeah.
from your players, and Ozil just didn't show that.
But they do have a player that does show that, and that's Sanchez. And he's actually worth the $290
He's
a
worth
week
that
money. Yeah.
I'd spend anything to keep him.
Yeah.
So he's a different story.
Yeah, totally.
Sanchez is that elite level player
Yeah.
that you say, well, 290,000, I'll make it 300 so that you're happy. I would just chuck
Yeah.
it in.
Yeah.
He's that level player.
He is. He's good enough. So I think there's an interesting time coming up at the end of this season for Arsenal, whether they stick or twist with Ozil in particular. If they're going to break their wage structure,
Sell him.
well, but if they're going to break their wage structure,
Sell. Now,
do it
honestly,
for Sanchez. Don't do it for Ozil.
Arsenal fans write in. I'm very curious to see, because this isn't a slight on Arsenal. Arsenal's a team we quite like.
Yeah.
Here at StudsUp. We just say it because we don't think he's worth it. What do you think? You guys, I know, are frustrated with these two matches you've had now in a row. I think you were aspiring to the title and you've seen two lukewarm displays at best from your side, and now you've got Ozil asking for this sort of money to stay. What's your answer? Stay or go? Curious.
Another just interesting stat there. Arsenal are undefeated when Mustafi starts. As soon as he's out of the team, they pretty much lose.
He's their Matip.
Yeah, he's their Matip.
It's the same sort of
they pretty
record.
much just lose as soon as he's not on the side.
You were really spot on about him. When they bought him, you just
Yeah.
said, this is going to transform their season.
Yeah.
And you're so right. It made he in that side, he changes Koscielny,
Yeah.
he changes the whole back four
Yeah.
somehow. He makes them all just work better.
He's the glue that holds that team
He's
together.
amazing. He's great.
Yeah.
I think he's right up there with some of the top centre
He
backs
is.
in the entire
and
league.
he's young. He's 24, 25. I mean,
He's up there with Alderweireld.
Yep, absolutely.
And I was really upset when I saw, I think Carragher and Neville put out their top sides of the Premier League so far this year, and neither of them included him. I know he's been injured.
He has.
I'd still include him.
And so is Alderweireld, and I get it. It's early days. I think
They
both
both
of them
picked
will.
David Luiz, so maybe that's why I'm so upset with both of them.
He's having a weirdly good season, and it really hurts my
Not
brain.
better than Musafi.
No, I know, but it just hurts my brain. Anyway, we should just stick for this game for 1 second. One of the things that I really actually loved about this game was, let's not forget, Pep Guardiola was under a lot of pressure as well. And the English
Tons.
press was out they want him crucified.
I sort of want that too. Not crucified, but I do want to see him stumble
Just
a bit,
taken down
because
a peg?
I
Yeah.
totally felt like the ethereal, godlike, deity style.
He is deified, I agree.
Yeah, he's been deified by the entire media, and I feel as though it's not justified, because you said to me, remember at the very start of the season, we were talking about this, and I said, if he can take a nothing side and make him win a title, that'll impress me. Well, now he's inherited a title-winning side, and he's still not able to really adapt as well as I thought he would. And so I think that already there are question marks, and if he goes through the whole season like this, I don't know how much of that is simply getting yourself ready for the Premier League and adapting, or is it he's just not quite as good. He's excellent, but I don't think he's quite as good as people say. He's no Alex Ferguson.
No. I think he's getting there. I think he's learning, and I think you'll find next season will be the litmus test for him. But this game was a fascinating look at his management style, because at halftime he knew his team were pretty much spent, and he made some exceptional changes and got them back into the game. The one I really wanted to talk about is he obviously didn't have Aguero in this game, which hurt him
A lot. Very noticeable.
So how he started the game was he played Sterling as his false nine, he played Sane on the right, and he played De Bruyne on the left. Now,
basically Liverpool.
Yeah, and I've got to say, when I first saw that, I thought, oof, that looks dangerous. Like, I'm scared of that formation. As far as it goes, that is a running formation with David Silva pulling the strings, Yaya Toure, who actually had an amazing game in behind. But at halftime, it clearly wasn't working. So what he did change some personnel at the back. But what he did up front is put De Bruyne as the false nine. He moved Sterling back out to the right where he's most comfortable, put Sane on the left where he's most comfortable. And what we saw was an immediate change of fortunes and 2 goals from his 2 wide forwards. That's good management. That is where he excels. He's an excellent reader of the game, and kudos to him for getting the 3 points.
I agree to a point.
Okay.
I agree with, you're 100% right, because that is exactly what happened. But I can't help but feel that Arsenal, I'm not going to say gave up, because it's not to that extent.
No.
But they showed no desire. None.
They had problems there, but I mean, where the real problems came from, unlike in the first half where Sterling, you could mark him out of the game, and then Arsenal were countering quite quickly. They could play long balls over the top and get at them. What happened when De Bruyne went into a false nine was City actually went direct. But they weren't trying to pass the ball around constantly. They were actually taking direct routes, and with De Bruyne in there dropping deeper and allowing the two wingers with their speed to run in behind, all of a sudden Arsenal didn't quite know how to deal with that. That's what caused panic in the back line. That's why they conceded, and all of a sudden that's what allowed City to regain not just possession, but then their momentum and their passing game came back into the fore. So, I mean, kudos to him. He actually, I saw with Pep, for the first time basically in the Premier League era, an actual change in tactic where he went, you know what? Us just passing it around isn't going to work. Occasionally we're going to have to go long here. We've got Yaya. We've got players who can do this. He started playing. He adapted, and for that I give him full credit.
Okay, I'm not quite as convinced as you are.
I
think he was fortunate. I think the result made his changes look a little better than they were. I think they were good changes, and they made sense, and they were the right changes. But I think Arsenal should have still put them to the sword, because Arsenal were carrying the greater form. They had the lead. There's no way that, because they allowed them back in rather than.
Did.
I don't feel like City bulldozed their way back into that game. I feel as though the goal was soft. The Sane goal was soft
and offside.
Yeah. And so was the second goal, by the way. So 2 offside goals against Arsenal.
You know what? The Sane one was marginal enough that, particularly live, I'd be like, whoa, I totally get it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I let that one go almost immediately. You can't actually... Were they unlucky? Of course.
Yeah.
But that's the sort of luck that you can't argue, and I refuse to argue, because that's mean.
Yeah, that's
if you're going to argue that for the ref and his assistants...
That's way too
What do you
cruel.
want from my life? I mean, that's just impossible.
Yeah, he was literally his forehead offside. Like, it was nothing in the grand
scheme. It might not have even been a whole forehead. It might have just been, I don't know, his ear. I don't know. It was
He's got some big ears.
If you've got that sort of time to relook at a replay and whatever, okay, great. You could make anyone look stupid, but I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that would have been too harsh.
But theoretically, that was offside, so a little bit of good fortune got them back into the game rather than them bulldoze. I guess that's the point I'm trying to make.
But it was still his tactical shift into a far more direct way of playing.
They looked more, absolutely, but Arsenal took their foot off the gas. Ozil wasn't running at all. He completely stopped. Sanchez was disconnected.
Yeah, Sanchez
He was so frustrated.
And did you notice how deep he started dropping? He was dropping behind Xhaka to pick up the ball.
He was behind Xhaka.
But you started looking at him going, no, dude, you're hindering your team now. You're hindering
But I understood
chances.
why.
I get that he's frustrated. You can't, as a lone centre forward, you can't do that. I mean, he really should have hooked. It was unfortunate for us and Arsenal that Oxlade-Chamberlain came on and immediately got injured. That was unfortunate, because you could tell he'd brought on Giroud and Ox to try and get some crossing potential and to cause some panic in their back four. That was very unfortunate for them. But, yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, the right team won that game, I'm going to say.
Fair enough. Yeah. Look, I'm going to agree with you, because Arsenal now 2 games in a row have shown not enough fight.
Yeah.
Like you said in the review last week, the game against Everton, they just didn't show desire until that last minute.
Yeah, the last 60 seconds.
Yeah, so you're 100% right. So you're right. The right team won. We both were wrong, which I guess is frustrating.
And Arsenal's form now against other teams in the top 6. I think
good.
they've won 2 of their last 18.
Not good.
Yeah, that's the last time I picked them against an elite level team, I think. Anyway, let's move on to another game. Let's have a look at Crystal Palace. They were at home to the champions-elect now, Chelsea. Chelsea managed to win 1-0 away.
Much better performance from Palace.
Really interesting performance from Palace. I really liked it, particularly the opening exchanges. Palace looked good.
Dangerous, push them back.
Yep, solid. Push their wing backs
back. Yeah, absolutely.
Push their wing backs right back. Didn't allow Hazard to have any room on the ball, which is really important. They used McCarthy in that position until he went off injured, and that
they
really hurt
Costa.
They man-marked Costa, but
and
when
frustrated
McCarthy
him
went
into
off,
that yellow card.
They did,
it shows that their tactics were working.
Yeah, very well. But when McCarthy had to go off injured, that hurt them.
It did a lot. Changed the game.
It did. Also, the other thing I will say, Conte's slight tactical tweak was a masterstroke. I didn't pick up on this on first viewing. I had to see it again, and I was reading an article by a great writer named Michael Cox, who is one of the great kind of tacticians or tactical masters of writing that I've ever seen.
This is actually weird because I'm just pointing to Garfield. I came to the same realization the same way. I read the same article.
Yeah, and it was only after I read the article and I went back and had a look and I thought, wow, he's nailed this. What happened was, of the back three, what's his face? His name now escapes me. The Spaniard.
Azpilicueta.
Azpilicueta.
Yeah.
Azpilicueta actually got to push up into the space that was being vacated by all of City, man-marking the crap out of all of Chelsea's forward line. He was allowed free space to put it across. All of a sudden, one goal was all Chelsea need to shut up shop. The game is over. Brilliant.
And Azpilicueta does have that talent because of his experience
he's a fullback.
as a fullback.
Exactly.
And one of the best fullbacks in the entire world.
Yeah.
So, yeah. 100%.
And
I didn't notice it until when he said it, though. I did the same thing as you when I was watching the highlights in particular.
Yeah.
I said, oh my goodness, that's him. He's pushing up into that space. You can see it. It's so
you
obvious.
can actually watch it.
Because in the match, I noticed, but it didn't register.
No, you don't register
I kept saying,
sometimes.
why is Azpilicueta so far forward? He's just roaming, is he? And then I realised
it was a huge
thought,
tactical switch. It was ingenious.
100% right. It was it's now obvious in hindsight.
Of course.
But he definitely was asked to push into that space.
Yeah.
And for Conte to notice that, he's proving to be extremely astute.
Exceptionally astute. Yeah.
I'm mesmerised by him.
We saw, when he took over the old lady, when he took over Juventus, they were a struggling team and he completely not only changed their fortune, but changed their entire tactical outlook.
Absolutely. He made them European level strong.
Yeah, exactly.
Not just league strong.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he won them so many league titles and then just slowly built off of it with astute buys as well. And now you're seeing him put that same tactical master plan down at Chelsea. But his in-game management is as good as anything I've seen from the best of Jose or the best of Ferguson.
Yeah, I agree with you.
He's that good at in-game management.
He's freaking me out a little bit because I expected him to have a harder time adapting than Guardiola. More so because he inherited a side that was really low on confidence, not the champions. Yeah. He was elected to a side that just, they were crumbling.
Yeah.
Under Mourinho, crumbling big. What did they finish? 14th.
I think 11th.
11th, whatever.
But yeah, it wasn't
proper
good.
mid-table.
Yeah.
For a team that was champions the year before.
Yeah.
A lot of changes were going on there, dissension, some older players going out. He inherited a bit of a mess.
He did.
And you could see it into the start of the season that mess wasn't gone.
But what he did do, which was really smart, and I think you're now seeing it in hindsight, what he did is he tried it for a little bit. He tried it the quote-unquote, I'm going to call it the Chelsea way. And then when it wasn't working, he just scrapped the entire old guard and went, you know what? I tried it your way. Now we do it my way.
And he got given his rope, didn't he?
That's right.
I think they gave him the rope to hang himself, but the opposite has happened.
Yeah.
He's built a house out of that rope.
Yeah, he hung them, yeah.
So I'm going to turn this rope. I'm going to make this rope into bricks because we're now awesome.
Yeah,
against
all odds.
Against all odds, he took. I think the worst defense of the top six, and made them
not just shored them up, but made them look unpregnable.
Nearly the best.
Impregnable.
Maybe the best.
Yeah, they are the best in the top six.
How can you have the best defense in the league when you have Luis and Cahill? This doesn't seem right.
No, it seems very odd, doesn't it?
I don't know how it's possible.
And Moses is one of your wing backs. It makes no sense at all.
It makes no sense at all. And Azpilicueta, who you'd think would be a wing back in that role.
Yeah, totally.
No, we're going to make you one of our centre backs.
Yeah.
None of this makes sense.
No, it doesn't make
None
any
of it makes sense. And suddenly, it just works.
No,
he's
inspirational,
inspirational, he's astute, and he's tactical.
It doesn't make sense to us, but it makes a hell of a lot of sense to him, and they're top of the league, so kudos. I
respect him immensely. He's actually making me hate Chelsea less.
Isn't that?
That is his biggest victory to date. No, he doesn't know that yet.
Yeah, no, I know. I don't like
if
that,
he knew me and he knew that he was impressing me, I think he would be like, you know what? Don't worry about the fact that we're first.
Hey, it doesn't matter that we're top of the table. Simon says quite likes Chelsea now.
That's everything right there.
That's it.
He's not even vying for the title now. He wants my respect.
Vying for the title of Simon Says Affections.
Yes.
Oh, top of the league. Jesus.
That was the most self-absorbed thing I have ever said.
That was so bad. I just want to really quickly step on Palace here for just one sec. How much longer can Pardew do? I think we say it every week now.
I mean, as long as they don't lose faith in their performance, as long as... Because he came after that and he says, it's really unfortunate because playing that well and losing a game is cruel. And if we keep doing that, the results will come. I can only agree with that. Because you play like that every week... That level.
That's a team that shouldn't be anywhere near the drop zone.
Well, they should at least be mid-table. They should.
You know where they should be?
Higher than 12. Not 12. They should be higher than 12. But if they were to finish 12th...
You'd be happy.
They are now, 1 point off the relegation zone?
Yeah.
With a resurgent Sunderland side.
Yep.
And you never know, a potentially resurgent Swansea if they go on a run of form when they actually play well.
Yeah, well.
You just never know with them.
You never know.
But... I mean, they're looking a little bit precarious. And I just think that you saw how they played against Chelsea. That was cruel. To lose 1-0, that was cruel.
Against the best team in the comp. I understand where you're coming from, but let's move on to another game. Speaking of somewhat cruel, Stoke City versus Leicester City.
Yeah.
It wound up as a 2-2 draw. You went the win for Leicester. I went the win for Stoke.
Yeah, we were both wrong.
My prediction there for a while was looking pretty
I gotta
good.
say, when Vardy got sent off so early... I just sat there cursing life. I was thinking, Garfield's going to have a field day with me on this one in particular because we were diametrically opposed on this one. It wasn't just fractionally different where I went for a draw, he went for a win, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
I really went the other way.
Yeah.
And firstly, not a send-off.
I thought it was harsh. Definitely harsh.
Not a send-off. It's a yellow card, obviously. It's
Look,
not a send-off.
It's the kind of...
Calm your farm.
You know what? It's the kind of tackle that I want to say is not a send-off.
But it's not. It's definitely not a send-off.
I don't know.
Definitely not a send-off.
2 foot in, lunging.
Doesn't matter. He got all ball, firstly.
I don't think that matters anymore on the current rules.
It does. There was no intent to get the player. He didn't get the player. How can you get sent off?
Player.
Yeah, after, because the player was just there and the rest of his body comes through. Then what do you want from life? You can execute a tackle perfectly and still do that.
I wouldn't send someone off for that.
It's a contact sport.
I wouldn't send someone off for that.
It's not a send-off.
In the modern day, I can see why he got sent off. I wouldn't have sent him off, but I can see why he got sent off.
Not a send-off, and the result was fair in the end because of that. That evened out.
Because, it was looking like Stoke were really just going to bulldoze them there for a while.
Yes, it did. I was really worried, but what a comeback.
Amazing comeback.
The grit.
Yeah.
Where did that even come from?
They've been lacking all season.
Yeah.
It's almost... Leicester have become this team now where they only play well when everything's
mentality.
Against them. Yeah. When they play superior opposition or when the chips are down, that's all of a sudden when they start playing. As soon as they're favourites, they just go, oh, well, we've got this somehow. And it just crashes and burns. Yeah.
So, 2-2 from where they were... If they aren't absolutely jumping for joy from that, I don't know what else will make them happy.
Ranieri was so happy.
Yeah. But I got to say, they deserved it. They deserved that.
They came back beautifully.
People coming... Any team that comes back like that. Like, for example, the game Bournemouth-Liverpool went against me, my side, but I could only applaud Eddie Howe and his side because... Comebacks like that, they're just brilliant to watch.
Yeah, they are.
Especially for neutrals, but even if it's your side, you got to applaud
the
other side. Even if you're a Stoke fan, you have to applaud how Leicester came back because I don't think Stoke played so badly to let them back in the match.
Yeah.
I just think Leicester... So what I was saying before about City, Leicester bulldozed their way back into this game.
They did. They
bulldozed.
Yeah, just pure grit and steel.
It was incredible.
Yeah, they decided through sheer will of force, you know what? We're taking a point from this game.
I was
and
impressed.
There's nothing you can do about it.
I was happy, and I think the 2-2 was just a magnificent showpiece for what the Premier League can be.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah.
Well said, Simon says. I happen to agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
Speaking of what the Premier League can be, let's move on to West Ham versus Hull.
Oh, that is such a cruel match.
This is the cruelest game I've seen in years.
Years. I got off my chair and I nearly fell to my knees when the third one hit the post. I just thought, well, that's it.
Yeah.
Obviously, you need to just pack your bags, not play the rest of the season.
Just go to the championship.
Big holiday. Yeah. Just go to the championship from now. Don't subject yourself to this because that's cruel.
The result, by the way, for those of you that don't know, was West Ham managed to win this game 1-0 against Hull.
Didn't deserve it.
Not just didn't deserve it.
Wholly undeserving.
How many times did they hit the post or bar? It must have been 4.
It was 3. I think it was 3 times.
3 times?
3 times direct off the post, 1 via a deflection.
That's right, and 1 via a deflection. What? That's cruel, man. That's too cruel.
That's happened to Liverpool before, but we at least did still score a goal. I know I've seen Man United do it a few times, but again, you scored a goal. And I think you won the match that I'm thinking of. But regardless, you're talking about a Hull side that was away from home.
Yep.
Admittedly, West Ham at home, it might as well be a home game for Hull.
Yeah, exactly. That's away. Yeah.
But putting that aside, they played magnificently well.
They were excellent.
They were actually excellent. They didn't look like they were deficient in any aspect of their game.
They didn't look like a team that's definitely going to finish 20th in the league.
They made chances galore.
Yeah.
They all but finished. 3 of them.
I know.
4th would have been lucky.
But still, if you've hit the post 3 times, you take luck.
Correct.
Yeah, you take luck.
I mean, if City can get away with 2 offsides fortuitously,
marginal,
and we're happy to accept them due to how marginal they are. Surely Hull deserved at least 1-2 of those goals to go in.
And then West Ham still won it with a bit of a jammy.
Oh, and that's what's worse.
Yeah.
If it was a Payet piece of magic, you'd say, as harsh as it is, a piece of magic deserves what it deserves.
And a great player can win even the worst of games. Yeah.
Correct. That was a really jammy. Oh, I didn't like it at all.
Jammy.
I hated that match.
Yeah,
I'm really upset that I watched it at all.
I know.
I could have done with never seeing that game.
By the way, just so everyone knows, you can still get good odds just for Hull not finishing 20th.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like quite good odds.
I don't think I'd take them.
Really?
No. They're odds
19th?
On for me. They're odds on for me.
19th?
I think they'll finish 20th by a distance.
That's why they're still pretty good odds to not finish 20th by a distance.
I wouldn't be betting on it.
But if Swansea completely capitulate...
They won't.
Okay.
They still have Sigurdsson.
I know.
He's not going anywhere.
Unless he moves in January.
If he does, they'll finish 21st in a 20 minute.
I'll tell you who I would be looking at if I was Everton. I'd be straight over there to Sigurdsson.
I would be. Wow, he would be so good there.
Yeah.
Freakishly good.
Yeah, that's who I'd... Okay.
Spank the money, do it.
Yeah.
I would even, if I was Arsenal, I would go Ozil, go on to Sigurdsson. Good stopgap solution.
He used to play for Tottenham, though.
So what? Yeah, but he's not a Tottenham player, so to speak. It's not like Modric, who they raised him. Bale, they raised him. That sort of thing.
I take your point. Don't know about that one. Anyway, let's move on to the next game. How about Sunderland versus Watford? We both, I thought, went on a limb here and chose Sunderland to win.
Sunderland, yeah, high five.
Yeah. Nice.
High five that.
Yeah, Watford were appalling, mind you.
So bad. What's happened to them?
They have completely fallen off the radar. As we were talking about last week.
I think they found their level, to use a Garfieldism.
Yeah, I think you're kind of right.
I think the bubble has burst, and it's not coming back.
Well, Kapue isn't getting into as many great match-winning positions anymore. I think teams have worked out how to stop him. And when Deeney is not in great form...
But not even that. Deeney can be in good form, but once you've ruined Kapue and there's a lot more pressure on Deeney, you just got to mark Deeney out of the game.
Yeah, I know. Particularly when Igato's not playing well and...
There's nothing coming up from the midfield.
No, there's nothing.
And they're very
Except
disjointed.
Kapue. When he's not playing well, it's all over,
But that's basically the thing. It's pretty much now, everyone's worked out. If you just mark out Kapue and Deeney, you've already increased your odds to 88% of winning the game.
Yeah, totally.
88%, that was a very bizarre percentage.
That was a really,
I have no mathematical basis for that 88%. I guess I meant really good odds.
Yeah, just incredibly
That's
good odds.
probably what I should have said.
Just really good odds.
Good odds.
I'm going to hold you now to 88%. What a weird, I don't know.
The symmetry of it, maybe? 8 and 8.
It looks, because they'll finish 8th.
And actually, even if you drew a line down and through it, there'd be like 4 zeros.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
So
that's kind of it's very symmetrical. Okay.
There you go.
Sure. Having said all
even the percent looks like an 8.
It does.
So really, it's kind of like 888. This went strange.
Wow, what?
It's near Christmas.
Welcome to Maths with Simon Says. Wow. Having said all of that, I thought Sunderland deserved their point. I thought
100%. What do you mean their point? You mean their 3 points?
I mean their 3 points, I should say. I thought Januzaj was excellent.
Again.
Yes. And him and Defoe are starting to really find something.
They're gelling.
They are finding something.
What did you think of what's his an Arson?
He's very good, isn't he?
Yeah. It was good finish.
Yeah.
Good run.
Yeah.
Defoe, good ball.
Excellent.
Did you see Defoe drag 2 players with him though?
Yeah.
Because he's so dangerous. He really he is everything to that side.
Yeah, he is. Without him, they would really struggle.
Yeah.
Even Anichebe is looking solid.
Good option off the bench, though, like you said last week.
Yeah.
I think
He should
Sunderland
be
are
your
turning
good
a
plan
corner.
B, yeah.
Because they're finding confidence now as well. And confidence cannot be underrated. He needs to buy, and you said something to me before, which I'd like for you to repeat.
I was about to bring this up.
This is disturbing.
Yeah, so this is one of, I think, Moyes' big problems now at Sunderland, as the board has come out and said there will be no money available in the January transfer window.
If I had any tears left, I would dry my eyes.
That could be the death knell for that club in the Premier League. He doesn't need much. But he needs a couple of players, though.
Having said that, I actually think that he will get away with a couple of high-profile loan moves.
If I was him, I'd go straight to United and beg for Depay. I would just beg to bring in Depay.
That would be an insanely... I never thought of that. It's a really good move. I would also take Sacco on loan with a view to purchase him at the end of the season.
Yep.
And I think we've said it before, Delafelu would be really good for them.
Yeah, he would. I don't think he'd go, though.
But Depay might... That's
Depay's
a good point.
one.
I'd also try to go for Sturridge. He never plays.
I'll tell you, if we're looking down that kind of line, if you get Depay, if you get Sarko, then you just go straight to City and ask for Fabian Delph.
Yeah, true.
You've strengthened your back line, your midfield, and your forwards. Yeah. And all of a sudden...
How good are you? That's it.
Then all of a sudden you go, hey, guess what? We could finish 15th here and we're all right.
Because their keeper is pretty good. Pickford's
Pickford's
good.
excellent.
He's excellent.
And young.
Great young keeper.
Yeah.
They've got Defoe. They've got Januzaj. They've got the core. They've got the semblance of a side that you could build something.
Yeah, and they still have enough in midfield with players like Catamol who can actually, get amongst it a little bit.
He's getting on, Catamol.
Yeah, but still.
But
I'd back him in.
But that becomes decent side.
Yeah.
I mean, they could finish, 16th.
That's all you need for this season.
Yeah.
If you can finish 17th this season, frankly, Moyes' job is done and he can do this.
That's outperformance.
Yeah, and then you build for next year, and then you try to get to 13th.
And you may even end up buying those players.
Yeah, or whoever you do get, because then it's Moyes' club. He's not coming in late. He's not coming in after Allardyce left. He's not coming in to pick up
And
pieces.
by delivering that, he can basically hold the board to rent.
Yeah, and then he gets to say, hey guys, I kept you up. Now it's time to come back. Anyway, yeah, I find the whole situation at Sunderland just perversely fascinating. I'm so invested now in seeing if they'll stay up.
Same.
It's one of the best subplots.
I know you hate them.
Season.
I know you want them to go down, but
not true.
You'll be wrong.
Speaking of one of these two clubs that's almost certainly going to go down, Middlesbrough versus Swansea. Middlesbrough absolutely crushed them 3-0. I went the draw, and I was very...
Negredo.
Finally finding his feet again.
I called that match.
You did?
I'm cracking my nail.
By
my knuckles
nowhere
and there's
near
no
the
noise.
margin, but sure.
Who cares? Who cares?
I'll tell you who cares, son. Swansea fans care.
Well, you know what? I picked 2-1. That was good enough.
Yeah. It was 3-0 in the end.
Negredo's goal.
Yeah.
How
was
good
gorgeous.
was that?
Yeah.
That was stunning. That left foot volley.
Yeah.
So crisp.
Yeah. When on
changed
form,
the game.
Yeah, no, but the bizarre thing, this is one of the things I don't kind of understand about Middlesbrough at the moment. When he's on form, he's a top 6 level striker in a bottom 6 level club.
Mm-hmm.
And you do look at him and you go, well, you're going to keep them up. At the end of the day, you are the lone player that can basically
He's their
keep them in the
Tevez.
league. Yeah, he is their Carlos Tevez to their West Ham, if you will. They have some other good players. I mean, De Bruyne played really well, I thought.
I literally mean that comparison, though. Like, you're going to see Middlesbrough, even if they're down near that area at the end of the season, I just feel like Negredo will go on a run of 3 or 4 games, the crucial matches.
Yeah, well, 6 goals in 8 or something, and all of a sudden they're out. Yeah.
And they're out, and you're thinking,
Yeah, Negredo.
16th. Well done.
Well done.
That's become my number, hasn't it?
That's your number now. Yeah, you're 16th. It's because I'm more optimistic than you.
You are. 12. Where's Hull going to finish? Not 12, that?
No, definitely not 12.
There we go.
Definitely not 12.
Just broke you.
19th, maybe? I don't know. Probably 20th.
Middlesbrough, well done, Middlesbrough.
Excellent win for them. I mean, again, we were talking about this last week. They're one of those teams that seems to, 1 in every 3 games gets the win, so you don't notice that they're ever in trouble.
So this game just happened, so now they may go 2 games now.
Yeah, and then they can have 2 games with a win, and we won't be so worried about them, and then we'll start to fret again, and they'll inevitably get another win. That's kind of the Middlesbrough way this season.
So currently, Middlesbrough are sitting in 14th, which is outstanding.
Very respectable.
But the thing is, they're on 18 points.
That's 4 above relegation, isn't it?
That's only 3 points away from 10th.
Yeah. And 4 above the zone, right?
And 4 above the zone. I mean, they're in a position that they might be able to keep here.
Yeah, 14th. If they finish this season 14th,
oh, wow.
Not only would I say bravo, but I'd say, yeah, you know what? I can see that.
Totally. Well, we were sort of picking that as we thought they would be the best of the promoted clubs.
Yeah, we did say that.
And it's hard to argue that they won't be if they keep showing this sort of form.
I mean, Burnley could still do it, depending on their home form.
Yeah, so Burnley's the other really impressive outfit.
Well, let's move on to their game.
Let's do them, actually.
Let's go. So Tottenham took them on. I mean, Tottenham won, but
that
they had the labour.
Was I'm not going to say cruel, but 2-1 I don't think was necessarily fair to Burnley.
No,
it was fair?
It was fair. It was a laboured win, though, from Tottenham.
Very laboured. I think
Burnley made them earn it.
I think pretty much anyone else outside that top 6, and they're taking at least 1 point.
Yeah, from that particular game, probably, yeah.
Look, Burnley was scrappy.
They're always scrappy.
They're scrappy away from home.
If you look them up in a dictionary, it just has a little picture of Scrappy Dappy Doo there for Burnley.
That's right. And even, people like scrapbooking, they're going to call it Burnley booking.
Burnley booking.
Because they're a byword.
Yeah, well, what is your son doing over there? He's Burnley booking.
He's Burnley booking.
He's Burnley booking Christmas.
He's a keen Burnleyer. He's a what?
Sorry, what?
Absolutely. I think Tottenham's, especially the winning goal. Oh, Danny Rose.
Yeah.
He smashed that.
Yeah, I know.
From such a tight angle. He was pressured. The tackle was coming in. He couldn't wait even a fraction of a second longer to take the hit.
It was the week for goals from left backs, weirdly enough.
It was. And that was the pick of them.
Yeah.
What a good goal.
It was the pick of them.
It deserved to win the game.
It did. That's the kind of goal that you see and you go, oof.
But how do you feel about the fact that Sissoko probably should have been sent off?
As he almost should be every game,
every
for
match
some reason.
now.
Yeah,
and he supplied the ball to Danny Rose. There's a lot of hindsight in that. There's a lot of there's this. How could the game have changed? Because he may have been sent off, but who's to say that in the rush home that Eriksson didn't, or Dembele or someone else slide the ball through and he was still in the same position.
Yeah, totally.
So I can't put too much stock into this, but
you know what I say?
It's a point to make.
I have a theory. It's one in slight jest, but it stands up to some kind of logical interrogation. Sissoko, a well-known Arsenal fan who joined Tottenham, every game seems to try to get himself sent off. Is he Agent Arsenal over in that Spurs team?
Yeah, but he's playing well for Spurs.
He is actually playing quite well.
So how do you explain that?
I don't know. He just keeps trying to get himself sent off?
I'm going to say no.
Okay. Fair enough.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say that you don't know what you're talking about, and perhaps you should go back to simply twiddling your thumbs in a corner.
I can't buy any more tinfoil. Is that what you're telling me?
I don't think so. No more tinfoil. In fact, I may even have to chat to the local stores. Put your picture up in there.
Oh, wow.
Do not sell to this man.
Oh, wow.
And once the vomiting ceases from looking at your photo, they will then...
That is enough to scare anyone out of me.
Look, you're not the stud in StudsUp.
No,
so.
I'm the sup, as we've discussed
That's right. But Sissoko, well and truly one of our candidates for Bastard of the Year.
Yeah. Oh,
we're going to do that. We're going to do this at the end of the season.
He's almost leading the way for me. I think
he is.
Well, it's him or Aguero at the moment.
Oh, Aguero.
2 reds, man. 2 reds.
And the manner of the Reds too. He wanted to actually really hurt Luis.
At the moment, he's leading my way for Bastard of the Season.
Yeah, I don't want him to enter the John Terry Academy. I don't want this.
Oh, he not just will he enter, he'll with a scholarship and a wing put out.
And
the
award is a glistening anus, gilded in gold.
And just a hint of rust around the edges.
Oh gosh! Oh, this descended. This has descended into chaos.
Sorry, we'll move on to the next game. We'll move on to the next game before the last one. Let's do Bournemouth versus Southampton.
Let's do Bournemouth.
Another game that we both got wrong.
You're a little closer than me, I guess.
I thought local derby. I'm going with the draw. And at one stage, I was looking the money.
I went Bournemouth because I like Eddie Howe, what he's done with the side. They look like they've got more steel than they used to. They've got a desire to win the game against Liverpool, not just because it was against Liverpool, but let's face it, Liverpool were playing extremely well in general.
They're a very good team at home.
And Bournemouth came back in a manner that you very rarely see. It was a Premier League classic.
It was.
And I thought that's the sort of form you continue to carry through. They were at home. They look good at home always.
They also
then scored that goal from Aka, which he's doing really well.
He looks amazing at the moment.
He's loving life in Bournemouth.
Yep.
And
before
the Cherries
next season when he goes back to Chelsea.
Yeah. I really thought the Cherries were en route to victory at that point, but credit to Southampton.
They came back.
What a side. I really like Bertrand.
Yeah.
What a run!
His goal.
He came off left back, and he's come sauntering, and I thought, oh, he's going to cross it, he's going to pass it, he's going to going to score.
Yeah, he's just going to nail
with a
one.
thunderous strike. Okay, well done, son, and that changed the game.
Yeah. After that, it completely flipped it.
And I understand why. That you cannot not carry momentum off that.
No, totally. And I mean, that was a really good performance from Southampton, mainly because Charlie Austin wasn't there. He's out injured.
Correct.
And
Which really hurt my side.
It did, yep. But it hurt your tipping side. And then they basically trusted Buffal to make a lot of their running. And he was hot and cold.
Yeah, but it was Rodriguez, mate.
It was
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez. Okay, I'm going to say
what a
this.
player.
I feel
Liverpool were linked with him until he got that major injury.
I know. I feel so bad for him because he was on the cusp of becoming an England regular.
Yep.
He would have been 24, 25, perfect age to break through. Would have probably moved to a big club, was scoring goals for fun.
Yep.
Has been injured now for basically 2 years.
Yeah, that's right.
So good to see him come back and get a couple of goals. So good. I mean,
and his second goal.
I know. But how old is he now? Maybe 28 nearly?
There is plutonium in that boot.
Yeah,
he spanked the leather off it. It was incredible.
He always used to be able to, too, when he was playing wide left forward. And
haven't seen him score like that in a while. Not something like that.
Well,
that was vicious.
No, because he hasn't played in 2 years.
And he played a phenomenal game.
Yeah. Good for him.
Great.
I'm really glad that he's come back.
Couldn't be happier. Yeah. I really like Southampton a lot.
I know.
And geez, they're a what now?
I think they're up there 8th, aren't they? 7th, 8th?
I'm stalling so I can look at the ladder. 7th they are.
Above Everton now.
And on 24 points, they are literally the leaders of the next pack because they're 6 points behind United,
but
who are in
that's a
6th.
breakaway.
So that's a breakaway.
Yeah.
They're not catching those guys. If they can hold off West Brom and Everton, that's the fight. Yeah. Southampton, West Brom, and Everton.
It's a fight for the 7th place. Yeah, but 7th might get you Europa. So 7th is the spot.
It might well.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's going to be a really intriguing sub battle, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really intriguing.
Yeah. And I think Stoke could get sucked into that sub battle.
Yeah, very possibly. I mean, they're almost there now. What are they? 21 points. They're only 2 points behind Everton. Bournemouth are only 2 points off as well. But I think of the two, I feel that Stoke's got a bit more in
panache.
Yeah. So I think why I'm so excited now about round 18 that's coming up. This was round 17. The Premier League's starting to become clear now.
It is, yeah. We're nearly at the halfway point. We're finally
starting to see champions elect. Yeah. You're starting to see Champions League qualifiers emerging. Yeah. You're seeing breakaways, sub-breakaways. You know, it's almost like in the Tour de France where you've got the yellow jersey, then you've got the breakaway pack behind them, and then you've got the peloton.
Yeah, totally.
So this is literally what has emerged now.
Well, let's move on. Speaking of those little
yes,
groups
indeed.
that spin away, the last game
Good
of the round...
segue.
It was a lovely segue. Was WBA, West Bromwich Albion versus Manchester United. You went with the draw.
You know why?
Yeah, I do, but
because United are terrible.
Well, they're not terrible.
They are terrible.
They're not terrible.
They are terrible.
I got the score and the results, so double points for me.
Compared, you're the only one to pick a score this week.
Yep, I know.
Well, good thing I won.
Yep,
no, good thing I won 6-5.
Oh yeah, 6-5. Anyway, no, I thought United were decent considering the lineup they put out.
They were good.
They were good in patches.
I was very upset at the end of the game because I thought that Pulis had his chance to. This was as good a chance as any to Pulis them.
Yeah, to Pulis them. Yeah. Well, I mean,
I like that this is a verb.
To Pulis someone.
I like
to be Pulised.
To be Pulised. Yeah, I think this is good.
I desperately did not like his starting lineup again. It just looked slow and ponderous up front. But when Ibra's in that kind of form, I mean, that second goal, that was ludicrous. That was just
Ibra. That's why you have him.
That is that only Ibra scores that goal. Maybe Ronaldo, maybe Messi, but mostly only Ibra even attempts it.
Yeah, usually creepishly good off this planet players, maybe like a Suarez or
maybe
those sorts.
But they wouldn't bother to try it because they try a different way.
Correct.
Whereas
he just picks the most
bizarre.
It's like his brain assesses and he says, "Okay, there are 100 different ways to do this. Yeah. I will do it in the 101st undiscovered way.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to do it in the most show pony way possible. Look, here it is.
But they deserved the victory.
We were definitely the better of the two teams.
Rojo
could have gone again.
God,
somehow.
I really don't like Rojo.
Oh, I hate him.
And this is not a thing against United.
No,
I'm
a United fan.
I don't like Rojo. I would like to start a campaign to get Luke Shaw to come to Liverpool.
No.
Because he's wasted.
No.
He is wasted.
That is not happening.
Well, he's wasted. You don't appreciate him like we would.
I appreciate him.
This is kind of like trying to steal another man's wife.
It is. It's very much that.
I am literally going to try and steal your wife.
No, don't steal my gorgeous Shaw. I love him.
Yeah, well, you know what?
He's my life. Simon
Luke
says
Shaw,
he's my life.
you'll never walk alone.
Yep. Well, he is at the moment, but stay with us.
Because not only will I covet and treasure you, Luke Shaw, I will sell Moreno immediately.
Yeah, I know you would too. But he'll come good. He's 21. He'll be fine. I give him. He
likes Rojo anyway. He likes Rojo.
If you gave me a choice, by the way, between selling Rojo and selling Fellaini, I'd sell Rojo.
Yes, so would I.
Yeah, that's how little I like Rojo.
But that's an obvious choice.
Yeah, but not to most people. And most people, Rojo is really growing on them, which I find just truly
like
bizarre.
Cancer?
I don't know. Yeah, it seems
things
really
grow on
weird
you
to
like
me.
melanoma that are not good. Just because he's growing on you doesn't mean you accept it. You get it cut out.
I don't see what people are seeing. I've actually heard people.
Just compared to a melanoma, that's really full on.
No, that's fine. I'm down with this. I'm all the way down this rabbit hole.
You're in with me, yes.
Yes, let's go together. I've actually heard people say to me, they go, when Smalling comes back, we'll just drop Phil Jones and have Smalling and Rojo. And I'm like, are you...
well, that's insane.
Have people been taking stupid pills in the last couple of weeks that I've just been missing? Am I not watching United play? I don't understand what's happening here.
I think they've still got a little bit of the Louis van Gaal hangovers about them.
Maybe. I don't know what's going on.
But Louis van Gaal favoured Luke Shaw.
Yeah, of course he did, because he's not an idiot.
So
he did some stupid stuff, but he's not an idiot.
I'm really surprised about the Rojo thing that he's still continuing. The fact that he's getting traction with United fans, I find strange. United fans,
surreal.
Write in, tell us how you feel, because I can't. Maybe I just refuse to, but I can't believe that's a majority opinion.
It doesn't seem right.
That can't be right.
No.
He's awful.
Yeah, well, let us know, because I'd be interested to hear from you as well. But anyway, a good result. It puts us now, 4 points outside the top 4.
You are absolutely not in no man's land. There was a very big danger that one or two more results against... I know WBA, you probably felt confident about the result, but they're the sort of side that
they are the kind of team that could pull us you.
They could pull us you. They could either get the draw or even get the win against you, depending on how the game goes. Yeah. And you could have been sitting there 6 points off Tottenham.
Well, I'll tell you right now, our next 4 fixtures are all very eminently winnable.
Very winnable.
If we do 4 from 4, and we can finish the start of the new year in 4th spot, I think we'll kick on and be fine.
3 on the trot now in the Premier League?
Yeah.
3 on the trot you've had, and your next 4 games are against Sunderland, Middlesbrough, West Ham and Liverpool. Oof.
So until Liverpool...
Yeah, West Ham, you got to favour yourself there.
Yeah, totally.
But the Liverpool match is going to be... I'm not going to say defining, because if you've won all 3,
then all of a sudden we look good for the top 4.
Even if you somehow lose to Liverpool,
I'm happy to draw that game.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
No, I'm happy to draw.
He'll probably even play for a draw.
Yeah. Oh, please.
I don't think he'll risk attack.
Mourinho's going to be over the moon with 4th this season, and he'll play for the draw.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. But anyway, we will talk about that in the next podcast, because we will do a preview coming up for later on this week. I hope that you've enjoyed this podcast, by the way. Anytime you want to get in contact us, we were just talking about it, go to the Facebook StudsUp. You can go to our website, studsup-football.com, or you can